I'm Michael Hudson. I made a music video called Canon Knocked Out. Cool. It's a film about a young boy who wants to become a champion boxer, but in virtual reality. So he's competing in virtual reality, but he's training in real life, lifting weights, doing sit-ups, improving himself physically to then go into the game and be a better boxer. So that's what my film's about.
How did you came up with the idea? Is boxing something you're interested in?
Well, currently I work quite a lot with AI and these modern technologies and the way in which it's blending. So there's lots of ways in which VR is affecting the real world, but could you do something in the real world that you could then take into VR? So that was like the idea behind it. And I have like a little boy, so all of my films I seem to be making subconsciously tend to be about a kid, a boy, trying to achieve his dreams. So I think that's kind of like the motivation behind it, the technology I'm working with and then my kid. So yeah.
Have you any future project that also is about a boy, or is it different?
Yeah, I started making a film maybe about 7-8 years ago, and we shot the entire film, but we had a lot of technical problems with it. But now we have AI technology that we can use in film, and it's basically made it now possible for us to finish this film, to fix all of those faults. So I'll be fixing this film, this feature film, and then releasing that and seeing how that's going. And then I have another short project which is coming up hopefully towards the end of this year, which is a bit of a crazy project because half of it's in space, but we're using AI and some studios to help us with that. And that will be like a real test of filmmaking creativity and technology to see how we can make that work. So yeah.
About technology and how many people were involved in this project?
It's kind of a bit of a weird question because I directed it remotely, so I never met the crew, I never met the actors, I never met the musician or the post-production team. I met them virtually but never in person. So with the actual shooting team, it comes from when we did the first remote music video, when we were all in COVID bubbles. So it's basically the cinematographer and a boy, and I give them a brief, and the cinematographer goes out with his team, which is about 2-3 people, and the boy, and they run around and they shoot in that part. They shoot it in a bedroom, and then the actual boxing sequences is like another production house that helped with that. So yeah, I'm not really sure how many people worked on it because I only really met the heads. I only really spoke to the heads of the departments. So yeah.
How did you find this way of working? How did it work out working on this, not in real life?
It's an entirely different approach because when you're on set, you're able to be more specific. You're able to have kind of more of a hands-on approach. When you are directing remotely, a lot of it is to do with preparation. So you basically over-prepare. Everyone knows what they're trying to do, and you try and make it fluid enough because you're not going to get exactly what you want. You make it fluid enough that you're able to get close and then edit it together. But the way in which I try to get everyone to work in the same way is instead of basing it like, okay, you need to get this from the script, you need to get this from the scene, I base it more on an atmosphere. So I need you to capture this feeling or this emotion, this atmosphere in this sequence, in this shot. So everyone's working collectively to a theme rather than to a narrative, a very, very strong narrative, a very, very strict road plan. It's more fluid. So when it comes to the edits, I know what I've got, but I've also not restricted myself. If we don't get it, we're dead. So it's more difficult in that regards. It's not as fun because you don't meet anyone, you don't have that kind of energy rush. You're a camera sat on top of a camera watching the shooting and then getting playback and trying to figure out, okay, does it work well enough? it's okay in that regard, but I wouldn't say like for most film directors that have done this that it's particularly like the go-to, the way they want to do it. It's complicated, it's difficult, it's interesting because you work with such a variety of people, and you're working like collectively on that film. Maybe there's 6 or 7 different countries working on it at the same time. So it's interesting in that way, but it's very, very challenging.
Yeah, it felt very meta when you explained that you weren't directing at the place, and it's also about like virtual reality. So that was kind of interesting way to actually make a movie about virtual reality, that you're not in the right place and do it. So I think that gives an extra dimension of it.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that way, but yeah, it is like it's directing a mixture of reality and virtual reality when I'm working in reality and virtual reality at the same time. So yeah, I should ask the other guys how they felt about it. So yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about the movie or your previous projects, or?
Well, previously I did a music video in the same sort of style, remote directing, and we did it with an Australian singer, and that one's gone on to be quite successful, that music video. I'm quite happy with that. But I'd probably say like the thing I've taken away from using all of this kind of technology, this modern technology, is it's not really something to fear. I think a lot of people think AI is going to take your job, it's going to kill the industry and all of this sort of stuff. But actually it's very limited, because the way AI is designed, it's the way it's constructed. It's constructed based on the past. It basically takes a huge range of data and then creates a generalized result, and you try and specify that generalized result, but it doesn't actually really create. You still need the creative people, the creative expertise to do that. And over the course of making these music videos, and as I work with it more and more and more and more and more, you actually start to understand like it's the equivalent of if you were using like an old field camera and then moving to digital. Like people were thinking, okay, it's going to take so many jobs, but no, it's another new tool you need to understand how to use and how to apply it. You can't do it all just in AI, because then it's meaningless. It feels meaningless. So I'd say like if I was going to give an address to all the filmmakers out in the world, like try to embrace it, try to understand how you can use it rather than closing your eyes and hoping it's going to go away, because it's not. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, that I think for sure we're gonna see a lot of more AI everywhere in the industry, and as you say, I mean, the AI will probably not ever think outside the box if it's not programmed to think outside the box, and then you have to have someone who programmed it. So I guess it's status quo. But that was a very interesting view on it. And what was the name of the Australian music video you made?
It was with a girl called Marlo, and the music video is called Remember Me. So it was Marlo, Remember Me. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. If it's not anything more you want to say. And also, how did you feel? I mean, like you won the prize for best music video. Is there... did you enjoy the festival and the winning?
Yeah, it's always nice to win. It's kind of... it's nice to be appreciated. I think everyone feels that. So yeah, it's nice to win, and I understand like music video arena is quite competitive. You have those that do really high productions and those that do low productions but have a lot of meaning and a lot of sentiment. So you're really kind of competing with a varied bunch, like a really, really varied bunch. And it comes down to individual taste, of course, and what people want. But yeah, it feels great winning like a festival like Västerås, and I really appreciate like this win as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much.